Hi guys, this is Paul here from PABrewNews, and we have a special beer. Not for any real special occasion. It's winter, and excuse me. This is my, for now anyway, this is my last PA beer I have. I've reviewed all the other PA brews that I've had. Probably a good, I think 60 of them or something like that. We'll see what it looks like when I get them all uploaded, but this is the last one that I have right now. I'm going to be taking a beer trip this week, so maybe I'll get a couple more. I'm also going to do my first growler review this weekend, so that'll be cool. I'll bring some beer home from a brewery where you can't get bottles. Right now, though, we're doing Troegs Mad Elf. This has been bottled, or this has been cellared, I guess, since 2010. So this is a 2010 vintage we're going to try. It's 2013 now, so I'll just say that's 3 years. Because bottling and blah 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 and aging, because it was aged prior at the brewery before it hit the shelves, so I'll say 3 years. This is an ale brewed with honey and cherries, and then mixed with like a spicy yeast when it's brewed. So, don't know. I've never had it. I've never had this. I've never really had too many. I've had like two winter warmer Christmas kind of ales. So this will be interesting. And it comes at this comes in at 11% ABV. Troegs.com, Hershey, Pennsylvania. Everybody by now should know what the Troegs cap looks like, so I'm not really thinking about showing you that. But I'll do it anyway. I don't know if you can see it or not. Don't worry. Okay. Kind of almost nervous in a way, but we're going to give it a go. Cheers. Oh, that's pretty. Just do a little bit. Very little, very little head. And it looks thick. I mean, just looking at what's in here, the bubbles, they're just like something about it. It's just floating around. Chunks. I don't know if it's bottle fermented or not, honestly. It does. It looks like there's stuff floating all in it. And this has been sitting still. So you'd think that all the sediment should be on the bottom, but it's not. It's everywhere. But it's small, very minute, but it's all in the beer. No head, by the way. You can see that. It definitely has some legs on it, though. It's sticking. Wow, cherry wine. That's what it smells like. Definitely smells like a very good cherry wine. You can pick out the honey too. Cherry wine, very sweet back to it with the honey. And you get breadiness to it. You get like a Belgian breadiness. Yes, I'm getting so it's definitely cherry wine mixed with a slight bit of honey in the back that brings out with the sweetness, but you get this bready kind of Belgian smell to it at the same time. I don't know if they use Belgian yeast or anything, but that's what I'm getting. Okay, here we go. Cheers. It doesn't hit you hard at all. It's dark, it's very broody in your mouth. You're getting bready notes. You're getting bubble gummy notes, kind of like fruity notes. I thought the cherry would be a lot more tart and a lot more evasive in your mouth, but it really isn't. Everything is very subtle. There's not a ton of bitterness either at all. Just really smooth. Mild carbonation. Mild to low carbonation. And then you just have this subtle tart bitter. Just a very subtle tart bitter. like a red wine, or maybe a blush wine to be more precise. I feel, and then just slowly blends down. It's not overly complicated, but it's very enjoyable. And you can't taste any of the sediment that's kind of like sitting in the glass, in the bottle. Let's give it a go. Let's get some more in there. We dump it in. And that was dumped in. And this is the head. And I just dumped that in. That's outstanding. And it's gone. Boom. It's gone. It's gone. It's not there anymore. Just a rich, rich cherry in the nose. Very fruity. Extremely fruity in the flavors. In the nose especially. Any hop that it probably had as far as that, it probably just completely just overtook the fruitiness, the mellowness, and just toned everything else down. The alcohol probably, this is probably more, excuse me, because of aging and stuff, this is probably more than 11% now. I don't know what it would be, but I'm assuming it's more than 11. Okay, we're back. And just in case anybody wants to know why, sometimes I do speak a little quiet and stuff on some of my reviews. It's because when I get home at 6 in the morning or whatever, what time I ever do my reviews, it's always everybody else is sleeping. So, just in case you wanted to know, that's kind of why. Let's top this up again with a big, it's still on the table. It's a weird combination of like this tartness mixed with a sweet fruit. It's kind of interesting. But the more you get into it, the more this big spicy breadiness comes out and mixes with that cherry wine consistency that it has. What it tastes like fresh? Unfortunately, I don't know. I think that's some of the problems is the fact that I didn't have this fresh. I should have had it fresh and then had the aged, but I didn't get a chance to pick any of that up, so I couldn't get it. But that's something that I kind of got crappy on. I should have really reviewed the original ale before I reviewed the aged version. But it's interesting because this is technically the first. I think it's the first aged beer on PABrewNews. So that's cool, pretty cool. Amazing, it's Belgian. It's very Belgian, especially now. The more you get into this beer, the more Belgian-y it becomes. Definitely, it becomes Trappist in a way. You got these amazing qualities like that, but mixing with the original cherry wine that I got from the first go. I'm gonna get a big swig of this. Cheers. It's not overpowering. The booziness is non-existent. The breadiness, you get these slight bready bubblegum flavors on the top, the roof of your mouth. And you get a little bit in the smell now the more you pour in. The cherry dissipates a little bit. It just becomes an accenting flavor. Some of the smoothness and the viscosity, I'm assuming, is from the honey. Because it's on the higher side of light. It's not watery. It's thicker than that. Drinking aged ales is a new thing for me, and I understand they change from their original state quite a bit the longer you age them. Just absolutely enjoyable to drink and to smell. I've heard some bad things from people. It just tastes like sour cherries and just bad wine and things. And this tastes lovely. The smell is maturing the more you drink it, and I think the thing is, one of the things is that it was pretty cold. This is a very cold bottle, and I don't know the serving temperature on it, but I bet when it warms up, it'll actually have even more different flavors and characteristics. We'll just cook it a little bit. Put it under the candle. Break my freaking glass. That'll be funny. That'll be funny. Broken glass on PABrewNews. That's what I'm thinking about, just getting it in my hands for a little bit and sloshing it around. Because the more warmer it seems to get, the more Belgian-y it gets. A little bit more of the bitiness from the yeast comes out too. That's in there. Honestly, though, by the way it's changing, I wouldn't drink this too warm. I still keep it very cool. I wouldn't keep it cold, but I definitely keep it very cool. Because then it would be, it's just get to too much bitterness, too much Belgian-y, too much overbearing, and I wouldn't want that. I want all the character and subtlety, the nuance of the beer, because it would be lost. That's one of those things that people can't do very well, is put a real soft, subtle character into their beers, and actually have it like a well-crafted nuance to their ales, where everything has their own place in time, and it all comes up and fades down, and just does this whole little play in your mouth. Sometimes I know that a lot of stuff just doesn't seem to hit that very well. This is doing that very well. But what I did there when I warmed up in my hands, the warmer it got, I could tell it was starting to get a little bit too overbearing. So that's why I poured the rest of the cold stuff in here. Well, that being said, it's time to wrap up this review. Troegs Mad Elf, 2010 vintage. It's getting a 9 out of 10 from me. It's very excellent. It's really enjoyable. And I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 because it varies depending on the way you drink it. You can't just drink at one temperature, no matter what it is, or any temperature, and it's always good. You just get plain cherry wine at the beginning, really, really cold. In the middle, that's when it shows its best. It has character, it has nuance, this is a much better wine in the mid-range temperature of a nice cool wine. For me, I didn't really enjoy it so much when it warmed up a little bit. But, you know, to each his own. Taste is different. I think you can see the sun coming up behind me. Getting a little brighter behind me. Just a lovely combination of breadiness, spice, and cherry all mixed together in the flavor. I love that flavor. It's almost like a Sation ale. It's like a Sation, like enhanced with cherries. It's really nice. Excuse me. If I stop burping. Very tasty. It has no alcohol feel. It's not even warming. It's just enjoyable. It's well over 11% by now. It's thick. There's creaminess to it. Honey, cherry, doughiness, spice, bubblegum characters with the fruits. Very well. It's 9 out of 10. Get it? Get it now. Get some old bottles from 2012, or as old as you can get. Pop it in your cellar. Wait at least 3 years and give it a go. This has been Paul from PABrewNews. Cheers.